Hey everyone, it's Misty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute card featuring products from Clearly Besotted. And that is the challenge this week at Simon Says Stamp Wednesday Challenge. All you got to do is make a cute card. If you have products from Clearly Besotted, we'd love to see you use them, but it's not necessary. Everyone should be joining this challenge because everyone's cards are cute, I think. So simple challenge this week. And you always have a chance to win a gift voucher to Simon Says Stamp for $50. So why wouldn't you enter? All right, anyway, so I had a couple ideas of how I wanted this layout to be. I'm going to end up going with this one that you see here, but I originally thought I wanted to use, this is the stitched hillside border die by Fawn, and I originally wanted it to use it on both sides, but I just couldn't fit everything I wanted to fit. So I'm just going to use that stitched border on one side. And I'm going to trim it down a little bit because I wanted a little piece of pattern paper to peek out the right hand side like you saw there. I'm using the Nina Desert Storm 100-pound cardstock and then a strip of pattern paper. I'm going to swap out the pattern paper down the road, but so I'm just kind of mapping out where I want to stamp my images. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of masking in this card, so I'm just kind of trying to give myself an idea of where I want everything to go so I know which images to stamp first. And I still don't do it right. I don't know why I have such a hard time with the masking concept. So whichever image you want in the foreground, you're supposed to stamp first, then you mask it, and then when you take the masking paper off after you do all your stamping, then that image is what's going to be in the front. But so here I thought I wanted the monkey in the front, and then I realized I want the cupcake to be in his hand. So I'm going to swap it out in a minute and do the cupcake first. And then I realized this isn't even the right monkey that's supposed to go next. It's going to be the monkey hanging in the tree because I want his hands to be wrapped around the bottom monkey's tail. So I stamped my cupcake, I masked the cupcake, I stamped this monkey, and I masked him. And then I stamped the branch, and it still wasn't right because then his little tail wasn't wrapped around the branch. It was in front of the branch. So I wanted part of the tail to be in front of the branch and part of it to be behind it. So yes, I'm going to end up having to do this again. So now I have the middle monkey. I have my cupcake stamped and masked. I have the middle monkey, which I want to be in the front. I blocked off part of his tail, so it'll go behind the branch. Then I masked him. Now I'm going to stamp the branch. See, so part of his tail will be in front of it because I have it masked off and I already stamped it, and then the other part goes behind it. And then the bottom monkey's little tail is in the middle monkey's hand, so that worked out perfect. And then for the monkey in the top right, see again, I wanted just the front of his hands to be hanging over the front of the branch, and then the rest of his arms are going to be behind the branch. So I'm sure there's a much easier way to do this. I didn't want to just draw them in because I'm a horrible drawer. So I just used my Memento black marker and colored just the hands. And yes, I am going to mask those tiny little hands. But it all works out in the end, so I'm happy with it. Yeah, most people will probably just draw two little ovals and be done with it, but my luck, they would just look like two ovals sitting on a branch and not look like hands. So I had already put way too much work into this card and I wasn't about to mess it up now. So yes, there's my kitty. My very sick kitty. So I pretty much let her do whatever she wants. So I had my monkey already placed in my Misty, so I just turned my paper around and I'm stamping the branch on the other side of the Misty so I don't have to move the monkey. Yes, there's a whole lot of looking right over the top of it because I wanted those paws, or not paws, I wanted his hands to be, you know, exactly where I needed them to be on that branch to look like he's hanging from the branch. So I got my little hands masked. I'm going to stamp my branch. And I almost mess up again here, which I'll show you. So I'm about to stamp my little monkey, and then luckily I realized right before I closed the Misty, I noticed that his ear would have gone over the top of that bottom leaf you see there. Well, you'll see it here in a second. Oh yes, I gotta take my little masks off now. And now I need to mask the branch so his arms, so they don't stamp in front of the branch, or over the branch, I guess. But then, yeah, so I'm looking for that bottom leaf there. I didn't think I was going to need it, so it's, oh, I see it up there in the top of the screen. So that's the leaf I'm going to end up needing to cut out, and I'm so glad I figured that out before I closed the door. I probably would have just given up on this card. Lots of masking, like I said. And I know what I'm supposed to do. I just don't know why I have a hard time envisioning it. Alright, so now, see the little ear is going to be behind that leaf now. Just how I wanted it to be. So I got the leaf in front, the monkey behind, the hands in front, the arms behind. So there's a lot of masking. See? Somebody who's good at drawing might just draw in those little hands, but I was not about to risk it. So that ended up being a whole lot of work, but I think it's so worth it in the end. I think this turned out very cute, how they're hanging in the tree. And I love the little monkey on the bottom has the cupcake in his hand, even though it kind of gets lost in the end, but at the time it was very important. So I'm using my POLYCHROMOS here, and I'm just going to use 2 colors. I'm kind of doing the same thing I do with Copics. You know, I have my darker color where I think the darkest parts of the image would be, and then I have, I used a lighter color in all the other areas. I only use 2 colors though, and Copics I usually do 3. I think this is only the second time I've ever colored on craft cardstock. And I wanted to so bad for this card because I don't know, I think it looks so cool when people do it, and I just never ever do it. So for this card, I was like, you know, I'm gonna put it on some craft cardstock and I'm gonna go with it. Even if it looks horrible, still going with it. No, I probably would have gave up and tried something else, but luckily I was happy with how this turned out. So for the little face area, I'm going to use a lighter color, and I'm going to go right over the top of the mouth and the nostrils because I'm going to go over those with a Copic multi-liner anyway. There's a pack, which I'll have the links to all the products I used below and on my blog, but there's a pack of multi-liners. There's several different size tips, and I highly recommend them because some of the areas of the stamp I used, it was a 1.0 tip, and then on some of the finer areas it was a 0.05 tip that I used. So I was happy that I had both of them. I don't know the proper terminology, so I'm saying tip. You know what I mean? They were different sizes. I used 3 colors for the leaves, and I love this color combo for leaves. I thought it looked very cool with the darker around the edges and then lighter at the tip. And the way I learned how to use colored pencils is you start out pressing lightly, like you don't want to press really hard on your pencil, and then you can build the color up, you know, because obviously if you start out pressing hard, then you can't take it back. But I had a hard time with that on the craft cardstock. I kept wanting to go press hard to, you know, make it stand out, but I had to constantly tell myself to ease up. And then I would just go back in and add more color if I needed to. But isn't this color combo really pretty? I'll list it somewhere on the screen. If it's not on the screen, I'll have it on my blog. On my cool little color breakdowns that I'm hopefully going to keep doing. Now, these big leaves are from another stamp set. So I don't even think I told you which stamp set this is. So the stamp set I'm using is Cheeky Monkey by Clearly Besotted. That would help to know that in the beginning of the video. Anyway, and then this image is from the Lawn Fawn Critters in the Jungle, which I thought was perfect for this jungle card. So again, I wanted the middle image to be in the forefront. So I stamped that first, masked it, and then the left and right are going to be behind that. And see, I was smart. I masked off the little cupcake and the bananas. So I didn't mess it up, because I would have cried, literally cried if I would have messed up at this point. But no tears. And then I color, let's see, I think I colored those the same colors. I might have changed the big leaves a little bit just to switch it up, but I think it pretty much looks the same. I keep saying I'm going to do a video on Evernote because it is one of the best apps I think there is. All I did I wanted to pull all of my leaf dies, and so I just went into Evernote and I typed in leaves, and when I store them in there, I put as many descriptive words as I can think of. So all these came up when I typed in leaves, and so I just pulled them all, die cut them, so I didn't know which ones I was going to want to use, so I just pulled them all and cut them out, and then I'll decide which ones I want to use. But I just recorded, I don't have it up yet, but hopefully I'll do that this week. I recorded a video. I was going to show you how I'm going to start storing all my dies, and I talk a little bit about Evernote, but it is, I would be lost without that app. Anyway, coming soon. Just like my tour video. I swear I'm trying. I just moved all the stuff into the garage, or actually my hubby did, but because my garage door wasn't working, so moved everything into the garage. Thought we had a little bit more time till the new door came, and then of course I get a call Monday morning that they want to install it Tuesday, which was yesterday, and so yeah, had to move all the stuff again. I'm still trying to put things in piles of what I need to get rid of and take pictures of stuff, but anyway, I can only go so fast, you know? I still got life to deal with. You know, I got a kid to take care of, a house to tend to, sick pets to take care of. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be devastated here very soon. My baby, she's my number one fur baby. She's follows me everywhere. She's the one that sleeps with me and goes to the bathroom with me. She used to be in the bathroom when I'd take a shower. She was just always wherever I was. She is full of cancer, and the doctors said she probably only has a couple weeks to live, which I can't even talk about that. But then my other cat has, let's see, he's got heart disease and kidney disease. So he's on medication. They're both on medication, so I'm going to have a rough time here in my near future, I think. I have no idea why I just went that deep, but Anyway, I've been told I overshare. Alright, so I'm going to take this Distress ink in Forest Moss, and I'm just going to go around the very edges of my leaves just to darken them up a bit. I did this already with the peeled paint Distress ink, and it just wasn't dark enough for me. I mean, looking now at the top of the screen, um, I can see it really good, but when I was doing it, it just wasn't showing up, so I did the forest moss. And then I just take a baby wipe and rub this brush all over it until there's no more ink. Love the tiny little shapes. I tried it with the, the big Distress sponge blender tool, whatever it's called, and it just didn't work. So I was glad I had that little makeup brush. Now, okay, so I'm going to do two different things for the leaves. So for the bigger leaves, I'm going to do the Gina K foam squares. They're black and they're not as thick. I said this in my last video. So they're not as thick as the other foam squares, the white foam squares that I always use. And so it was perfect because the bigger leaves, I did the not so thick, the black foam squares here, and then that way the smaller leaves would it just went right over the top of the bigger leaves. I hope that made sense. It looked really cool. So I didn't have to like double up on like stack foam squares or anything like that. So I'm glad I have both of them. And the bananas hanging from the monkey on the right, I thought worked perfectly for this card. The bananas are from the Lawn Fawn Critters in the Jungle stamp set too. So I wanted them all to kind of hang off and then just trim the edges off of them. And I'm just going to do the same thing for the bottom leaves here. I love how they go flying when you cut them off. I don't know why that's satisfying to me. I'm weird. And then I'm just going to take the leaves that I cut out and just try to fill up some of the empty space without filling it up too much. That's what I was worried about. I'm glad I did not glue them down in that bottom right corner. And I almost did. So same thing, I'm just going to glue these down right on the card front and then trim off the excess. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but I swapped out my pattern paper. This whole time I thought I was going to use the green leafy paper, but it was just too much green. So I swapped it out for this yellow striped paper. It's by Lawn Fawn. Needed to have a little more yellow in it. That's why I use the yellow Nouveau drops here in a second too. And then I'm just going to put this all on a side folding card base. And I'm going to use my Nouveau Deluxe Adhesive to do that. I'm really liking the liquid adhesive right now. It's like I go through spurts. For a while I was only using my ATG, and I just like, it seems like it gets a better stick with the liquid adhesive. It just seems like I never got the tape runner right up to the edge, so it always kind of pulled away a little bit. And then with the liquid adhesive, when you press it together, it kind of spreads it out, so I think it's closer to the edges, which is what you want. Don't want your stuff pulling apart. Alright, I'm just going to use some Wink of Stella on my little cupcake here, just to make it stand out a little bit. I think I might go over it with the Nouveau Crystal Glaze to add a little bit extra. And I'm just taking a white gel pen and adding a white dot in all of their eyes. Lastly, I'm just going to add a couple Nouveau drops in dandelion yellow, and that finishes off my card. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I'll have all of the supplies that I use listed and linked in the description below. I'll also have them over on my blog where I'll have more information like a color breakdown of which colored pencils I used and more pictures and just more information. I hope you guys will join us this week for this simple challenge. All you got to do is make something cute, and then you get a chance at winning a $50 gift voucher to Simon Says Stamp. So you can go to the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge to link up your projects, or you can head to my blog. I'll have links there as well. All right, I think I covered everything. If you have any questions or you just want to chat, please feel free to comment below. I love chatting with you guys, so it's one of the best parts about making these videos. All right, now I'm done. Thanks, guys. Bye.